Happy 2015. I'm Tara Dickherber, licensed professional counselor and nationally board certified clinical hypnotherapist. I am the senior certified practitioner in rapid resolution therapy in basically the entire state of Missouri and southern Illinois. And I have decided in 2015 I'm going to try to do at least once a month a video blog about myself, the work that I do, whatever. So let's just start with what is rapid resolution therapy. It is a version of therapy. It's actually technically a version of clinical hypnotherapy developed to specifically work with survivors of trauma. And working with survivors of trauma is my specialty. Now, the first question that comes out of that usually is, what kind of trauma? Pretty much anything that you can think of. Specifically, I really enjoy working with survivors of sexual violence, men and women. I only work from about high school and up. I don't work with children and young adolescents. So the next area of trauma that I enjoy working is veterans with PTSD. Now, beyond that, there's also childhood trauma, adults who were abused as children. I've had a number of clients who have had car accidents that have left them with PTSD as well. 2014, the theme in my office was two things: grief and medical issues that have left people with emotional stuff. That's kind of hard to explain. It's all been very unique and interesting with each person that I've worked with. So pretty much anything that you can think of that you would label as trauma is something that I have worked with or enjoy working with. My definition of trauma is one that I learned from my mentor, Dr. John Connolly, who developed rapid resolution therapy. And that is, trauma is anything sudden, different, unusual, unexpected, weird. I also add in, if you've been through something and it haunts you, it's something that you find yourself thinking about when you're really like, why am I even thinking about this? Or you've been through it and you notice that since then there's been some emotional stuff just kind of following you around. That's trauma. And trauma comes in all kinds of shapes, sizes, and it's just a variety. It's like the rainbow. There's big T trauma, veterans with PTSD, survivors of sexual violence, and there's what I call little T trauma. About 4 years ago, I had a theme in my office of people who probably had some type of learning disorder and had been in grade school before we even knew about learning disorders, and so they were taunted and teased by fellow students, their parents, teachers, and they're sitting there, 30 years later, 40 years later in my office crying and saying, I've never been through anything traumatic, but in first grade, my teacher put me up in front of the classroom and put a dunce cap on my head, and I just can't stop thinking about that. That's traumatic. Like, who expects to go to school and be put up in the front of the classroom with a dunce cap on? I don't. So if that helps people understand, back to rapid resolution therapy, it is, again, a form of clinical hypnotherapy. It's some clients come to see me and they've been through a lot of therapy and lots of different types of therapy. What I have kind of found is rapid resolution therapy is a combination of hypnotherapy and neuro-linguistical programming. So it combines language and hypnosis in a way that gets that emotional mind, that subconscious mind, to update and move beyond what people have been through. It is something that I do exclusively. It's the only type of therapy that I do. I only work the way that I work. My sessions are 3 hours. I know, like, whoa, 3 hours. The 3 hours usually goes by pretty fast. those 3 hours gives me a lot of time to get through a lot of stuff and to help people understand why their emotional mind's been working the way that it's been working. I am a firm believer in neuroscience and brain research, and the field of mental health is changing now that we have all these brain scans and stuff. And so I'm also incorporating what I'm learning about trauma and how it affects the brain. I'm watching this video as I'm making this. It's like these hands are coming out of nowhere. I do have arms. They tend to be a little random. And I'm also incorporating memory reconsolidation, which is an up and coming process in the mental health field that is rapidly changing how we handle trauma and how we help people overcome trauma. So there are other people, won't deny this, there are other people in the St. Louis, St. Charles area that are trained and certified in rapid resolution therapy. They all have been mentored and consulted with me. So, however, I am the only person that does RRT exclusively. I know a lot of therapists will do like a 1-hour weekly session or every other week. I don't do that. If that's what you're looking for, I'm not your therapist. I do have several therapists that say, go see Tara for your trauma, come back and we'll work on issues at work and marital issues and conflict resolution and communication skills and stuff like that. It's great. Works out wonderful because I love trauma. That's what I like to do. So if you have any other questions, please drop me an email. My email is Tara, T-A-R-A, at Tara, T-A-R-A, L as in Larry, P as in Paul, C as in Charlie.com, or drop me a phone call. My new office phone number is 636-896-5686. I'm currently, and probably for the rest of my life, located off of Zumbel on West Clay in St. Charles. So that's a little information about the work that I do and the type of clients that I work with. And please bear with me. This whole video thing is a new thing to me, so I have no idea how to edit these. These are raw, live, unscripted, so you're going to get me the way pretty much that I am in my office. So thank you for taking the time for watching this. And again, I'm Tara Dickherber, licensed professional counselor and nationally board certified clinical hypnotherapist.